What's going on, guys? It's Fight Season MMA, and today I want to make a video talking about 3 reasons that I believe Alex Pereira will not lose inside the light heavyweight division. As we all know, Alex Pereira is the UFC Light Heavyweight champion. He's beat the likes of Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill, and a bunch of other different fighters in that light heavyweight scramble. But really, I don't think that there's any single person inside the UFC Light Heavyweight division that's going to go in there and be able to comfortably beat him. You got names like Magomed Ankalaev, Alexander Rakic, Khalil Roundtree Jr., Jamal Hill, Yuri Prochazka, and all of them have either fought him or I don't think we'll have a chance to fight Pereira anytime soon. Alex Pereira is one of the most unique fighters in the organization because he has such a prominent striking game with no grappling prowess behind it, but I kind of want to talk about why Alex Pereira is going to be a dominant champion, even though he has such a gaping hole in his game that I just don't know if it will ever get exploited. But if you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way to help the channel grow. And while you're down there, please turn on the post notifications, just so you guys are always notified about UFC content releasing. But without further ado, let's talk about 3 reasons that Alex Pereira will not lose the UFC Light Heavyweight title. So, Alex Pereira is the current UFC Light Heavyweight champion, and I just don't think, and I don't see a world where Alex Pereira loses that belt anytime soon. I look at the current Light Heavyweight rankings. We got Magomed Ankalaev at 1, Yuri Prochazka at 2, Jamal Hill at 3, Jan Blachowicz at 4, Alexander Rakic at 5, Nikita Krylov and Khalil Roundtree Jr. tied at 6, and Volkan Oezdemir at 8. And the first reason is I just don't think that this competition inside the light heavyweight division right now is at its best point. Yes, you got fighters like Magomed Ankalaev, who's good, Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill, Jan Blachowicz, and Khalil Roundtree Jr., but really, I don't see a lot of these guys going in here and being able to hold a flame to Alex Pereira and how good of a striking game he is, considering that literally every single one of these fighters, except Jan Blachowicz, is a striker, and maybe Nikita Krylov and Volkan Oezdemir, but those guys are all strikers compared to those few bunches. As we've seen, he's beaten Yuri Prochazka twice. He's beaten Jamal Hill. He's even beaten Blachowicz, who's the only grappler who was smart enough to take him down. And I look at all these fights and I'm just sitting here and I'm saying that Alex Pereira is going to be able to walk through anyone that they put in front of him just because of their striking prowess compared to Pereira's as well. The other thing that I think that Alex Pereira has on a lot of these different guys is he's just smarter than a lot of guys. He knows how to prevent situations from getting too out of hand very quickly. You know, in that Jan Blachowicz fight, he wasn't as prepared for different takedowns as he was in that Yuri Prochazka fight. But yes, he got taken down in the first round by Yuri. But as the fight kept progressing, he kept staying on top of it and kind of getting himself out of different scary positions to limit Yuri's ability to grapple with him. And that was a very big thing that kind of deterred Yuri in the second fight because I don't think he thought he could get the takedown, or Yuri is just that incompetent to not understand that he could take down Pereira. And I really do think that if these guys went in there and grappled with Pereira, they would be able to overwhelm him so good. But Pereira's biggest thing is he prevents getting onto the ground in many different steps. And breaking it down in that aspect is something that very much helps Pereira a lot because he is not able to isolate one singular area on the ground. Rather, he talks about it in a lot of different facets. And the last thing that I want to talk about with Alex Pereira, of how he's not going to lose his belt anytime soon, is that genuinely, I think Alex Pereira is just too good. And I say that with all the respect to anyone in the other division. And it's kind of like the first part when I said that no really fighter can go and hold the torch to him. But I think that Alex Pereira would beat even most heavyweights right now. He is just that good, and that has no disrespect to the other light heavyweights. And maybe the light heavyweight division would look better if Alex Pereira was worse or not there, if that makes sense. But genuinely, Alex Pereira is such an amazing fighter. It makes all the other light heavyweights in the division just look subpar when you go and compare him to Pereira himself. Fighters like Ankalaev are mainly strikers. Prochazka is a striker, Jamal Hill, and those striking abilities compared to Alex Pereira's world-class kickboxing striking is second to none. He will go in there and smoke any one of those fighters on any given day, and you know what's coming back at you in that direction because you got to deal with probably the best striker on planet Earth right now. And I look at these 3 things, looking at the competition not being as good inside the UFC Light Heavyweight division. I look at Pereira just being so good and of how he's able to be so cerebral in there in multiple aspects, and I just see a nightmare matchup for any single person coming in. We all know that Pereira's next matchup is going to be Magomed Ankalaev. Let's say UFC 313, wherever that might be. But if Pereira can, yes, sit there and defend the takedowns from Ankalaev, but I think it just talks about how Magomed Ankalaev is a striker and of how he's going to go in there and try to strike with Pereira. And Pereira's too skilled and Ankalaev is too basic. And he's going to get knocked out by Pereira because of how good he is. There's not one fighter besides Jan Blachowicz who has the confidence to go in there and say that, yep, I know Pereira's this good on the feet. I don't want to prove myself. I know I'm going to get knocked out, and I'm going to just go grapple with him. Because everyone who said that they're going to go in there and strike, probably besides Khalil Roundtree Jr., because he put up a great fight, has got knocked out instantly. Hill and Prohaska twice knocked out in the first round or second round. Khalil Roundtree Jr. was knocked out in the fourth round, but that's because he got tired more than anything, and Pereira had a very long and stressful training camp behind that one. But I look at Alex Pereira's UFC career, and I see one of the best strikers to ever do it within the organization. Like he said, he's fought the likes of Strickland and Adesanya in the middleweight division, who are amazing strikers, and have fought Yuri, Jamal Hill, Jan Blachowicz in the UFC Light Heavyweight division. And I genuinely think that Pereira is on a absolute just skywalking status to becoming the most popular MMA fighter in the entire world. There's not a lot of things that he can do wrong inside the light heavyweight division. Not only do I think the light heavyweight division is at its thinnest point in so many years, he's also improving his takedown defense and his MMA ability every single day because he's got an amazing team around him with Teixeira MMA up in Danbury, Connecticut. He's also got Polindo Cruz with him, who's a great coach as well as just that mindset in Pereira's head. Lastly, Pereira is just already that good. Alex Pereira is one of those fighters that you don't need to do a lot to tweak and change his game in order for him to be truly successful. Pereira knows what he needs to do. Pereira understands that he is one of the best strikers on planet Earth. He plays to his strengths, goes in there and knocks opponents out anytime that they try to fight him, and Alex Pereira is just him in that category. Ultimately, Alex Pereira is just better than any other light heavyweight in the world right now, and I just don't see any single person currently in the UFC light heavyweight division that could go in there and beat Pereira now. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think down below in the comment section about these 3 reasons why Alex Pereira won't lose his UFC light heavyweight title. First off, the UFC light heavyweight division isn't really that good right now. I don't see anyone in there kind of going to beat him. Like Magomed Ankalaev could, Yuri hasn't, Jamal hasn't, Blachowicz fight was close. I just don't see anyone going in there to be able to do it. Second reason is Alex Pereira is improving so much. He's taking MMA super seriously. He's knowing how to hold his takedown defense. His incredible smart inside the octagon. Just kind of how cerebral Pereira is. And the last thing is just Pereira already is one of the best kickboxers in planet Earth. And if you try to strike with Pereira, you're going to head to sleep. And I think a combination of all these 3 items, considering that even Alex Pereira is a little bit older and he doesn't have that much tread left on the tires in his MMA career, I just don't see anyone taking that light heavyweight championship off Alex Pereira anytime soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoy the UFC content. And while you're down there, please turn on the post notifications just so you guys are always notified about UFC content releasing every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.